Okay, so I just made that video telling you to tell me if you come up with anything that I can do. When I remembered, I actually have a story that I can tell you because the shirt that I'm wearing reminds me of that story. Okay, so what it is I went to the Harry Potter theme park, in Universal Orlando, and I we went for 2 days, and we were staying in the resort at the hotel on site, so we could get in an hour early. And so my aunt and we were like, okay, well, should we take our cameras to it the first day? And we're like, well, I don't know. I couldn't decide if I wanted to or not because, you might see something important like some really famous person or an actor or something. And so I asked her, and she said, well, it's not all that important. We'll have one camera, so we'll just leave our good cameras at home and experience the rides and everything today, and then tomorrow when we come back we can bring our cameras. So that's what we did. We went the first day and we rode all the rides and we walked around and everything, and it was really fun because especially when you get there an hour early, then there's hardly anybody there. I mean, yeah, there are people, there are like 200 people, but I mean, compared to like the thousands that are there in the afternoon, it was really good because we didn't really have to wait in line. We rode Hogwarts 4 times and only had to wait in line once, which we waited for an hour and something. And that's only because I wanted to video the ride for my sister. But I don't even know if she wants to watch it because it might spoil a surprise if she ever goes and watches it someday. I mean, you can't really see anything. It's not like watching it on video actually gives you the thrill of experiencing it in real life. So anyway, we didn't take our cameras or anything the first day. And then the second day, we took our cameras, and I mean, the first ride that we wanted to do was Hogwarts. So we went up to Hogwarts and we did it because, you want to do it before all the people get there. So we did it, and then we came down, and my grandmother was with us that day. So we went over, and there were 2 people over there, and they asked me if I'd take their picture, and I was like, well, sure. And so I took their picture, and then we decided that we wanted a picture in the same spot that they were getting their picture taken. So my grandmother was trying to fix her camera, so we were standing off to the side, and then a crowd started to build, and I asked my aunt what it was, and she said, I don't know, I'll go ask. And so she went over there and came back, and I said, so what is it? And she said, it's the twins. And I was like the real ones, like the actors, or people dressed up like the twins? And she said, just go look. And so I took my camera and I went over there, and sure enough, it was Fred and George Weasley. Well, really, James and Oliver Phelps, but still, it was the real people. So I walked over there and I was like, and I had my camera and I was taking like all these pictures. And so this man walks up and he was like, oh, there's a better spot right here. And so I get there and he was like, well, you're short, so I can video over your head. He didn't really say I'm short, but he said he can video over my head, so it wouldn't bother him if I stood right there in front of him. And I was like, oh, cool, thanks. And then he left, and then he came back a little while later and was like, so there's a better spot on the other side of this. If you walk around, you can get better pictures of them. And I was like, okay, thanks. So I went over there, and it was better, and there was a lady next to me, and we started talking and everything. And then I've taken like 600 pictures of them, and then they start to get off, and I'm like freaking out, and then my battery dies on my camera, and I have nothing with me. I have no pen or paper or anything to get his autograph. They split up. One was over here like 2-3 feet from me, and I was in the very front of the crowd, so I could touch him if I wanted to. Well, we'll get there. So I'm freaking out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, she's coming toward me and I don't have a camera or anything. And the lady was like, here, I have a map and a pen you can use. And then this other person was like, hey, can I borrow your pen? And so she was like, sure. And so she gave them her pen, and then she came back. I mean, she didn't leave, but the pen came back and she handed it to me. And I was like shaking because I I had nothing, like I didn't have any of my own stuff to get anything with. And then, so I called my grandma, my aunt, and I was like, get over here, I need your camera. He's like right next to me. And she's like, okay, I'm coming. And so I have no idea where she was at the time, but I was just standing there, and she was handing me this stuff to take the picture with, and then she was like, well, do you have an email? I could take your picture and then email it to you. And this is like 3 minutes after I called my aunt, but he's still like right there. He had some other people to deal with before he got down to me. And so I was like, yeah. And then my aunt shows up and she hands me the camera, and I was like, okay, we're good. And so I hand the lady my camera, and the nice lady took my picture with James Phelps, which is Fred Weasley, and I'll put that up. But so she took my picture with him, and I got his autograph and stuff, and then he started to walk away because this lady that he worked for, I guess, called him over because they were going somewhere else. They had been doing like an interview, which is why they were there. I don't know what type of interview it was, but it was at the park, so I'm guessing it was about the park. Or maybe it's the fact that the 7th movie is about to be over and everything Harry Potter is like done. Almost. It hasn't come out yet here. But so maybe they were talking to them about that, but they called him over, and then the lady was like, I'm gonna get out of the crowd to let some other people in. And I was like, yeah, me too. So we got out and we high-fived and we kind of held hands for a little while, and we were shaking. We were like, yeah. It was just really exciting. It was, seriously, I don't think I've ever really met a famous person before, and they make like tons of money off of those movies. Like Daniel and the girl who plays Hermione, I don't remember her name, but they make like millions off of the Harry Potter movies. But the twins are also really cute and special and all this stuff. But yeah, I just thought that I'd share that with you because it was actually the highlight of my summer. I mean, you can guess, right? That would be the highlight of my summer? Oh, it was godly. Okay, well, I had to get that story out of my system. I don't think I left anything off. I'll try to put picture of me and him, or him and me, and his autograph up. Yeah. Or maybe I'll print them off and show you later because I don't know how to do the video editing stuff. Okay, that's good.